Now to a live look into downtown Pittsburgh, where changes are coming today to the Pittsburgh Bureau of Police.
From new hours to new ways of reporting incidents.
These new changes are now in place for Pittsburgh police officers. Pittsburgh's police chief says that these new initiatives will help them better serve the community. This year is looking a bit different when it comes to how Pittsburgh police are operating. Chief Larry Scarrato says new initiatives are in effect and will impact the way officers respond to calls. Chief Scarrato says to help more efficiently cover the city, officers are switching to 10-hour shifts 4 days a week. When it comes to mornings from 3 to 7, that shift is now the lowest staffed, with 25 to 63 officers working depending on the day. Plus, police stations will not have an officer at the desk. Lower priority calls will be dispatched to a telephone reporting unit rather than an officer. This has some concern on how police will respond to calls.
We just want to be sure that if somebody calls the police, that the police will come and help them, not go through, a checklist that delays their response.
Additionally, burglar alarms now require a second confirmation.
If you have lived in or around the district for any length of time, you are no stranger to the problems at DC's 911. Blown addresses, delayed response times, calls unanswered, even from police and emergency crews in the field. Our investigations have led us to distraught families trying to get answers about the role mistakes may have played in the death of their loved ones. But they, like us, have had their questions ignored. Cleo Sabito is the former interim director of OUC and agreed to sit down with me for an illuminating conversation.
Anyone who knew anything about public safety communications would know that things were horribly wrong there.
Sabito's filed a lawsuit against the district and Mayor Muriel Bowser under the Whistleblower Protection Act for retaliating against her after disclosing alleged violations of laws and regulations, gross mismanagement, waste, fraud, abuse, and threats to the health and safety of the public over the way DC 911 operated. In our revealing conversation, she says when she refused to give dishonest testimony to the DC Council, it was clear she was in jeopardy.
Were you led to believe that the mayor was unhappy with your transparency with the DC City Council?
100%, 1,000%. The people that I led would have known that I was lying if I had done that to the council. So there was no way I was going to do it. And of course, it made her furious.
And all the more, says Sabito, when she gave auditors full access to the agency for an investigation.
When you informed the mayor's office of your approach to the auditors, how was that received?
The deputy mayor, he was not happy. His response was F the auditors.
The FBI is currently raiding the women's correctional facility in Dublin. According to the Associated Press, federal investigators have seized computers and documents this morning from that prison. The prison has recently been at the center of a years-long sexual abuse investigation that led to previous charges against a former warden and other employees. Now, according to the AP, the associate warden and a captain were removed from this facility this morning while this raid was conducted.
So what happened inside the federal penitentiary in Dublin? The FBI spent the morning seizing documents inside the women's prison. Now, that prison has been in the spotlight after inmates accused the guards of sexually abusing them. Tonight, though, we're hearing that the new warden was replaced after today's visit.
The FBI is only confirming that agents were here this morning to conduct, quote, court-authorized law enforcement activity, no more details. And the Federal Bureau of Prisons says that it cannot comment on personnel matters, but said a new interim warden was named immediately. A group that's been representing alleged sexual assault victims at FCI Dublin for years says considering who the FBI was focusing on during its Monday morning visit, it's a good bet they're looking into those long-running sexual abuse claims. Prison's former warden was convicted in 2022 of sexually abusing 3 inmates. And last July, 2 former guards were charged with abusing several more female inmates. 8 of the survivors joined in a class action lawsuit filed last year against FCI Dublin and the Bureau of Prisons.